What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow decoders around the world, wherever you may be, both male and female. My name is Logan, and this is Decode Your Reality, and today we're going to be breaking down and decoding The Fool, which is actually leading into Won't Get Fooled Again, which you saw in the beginning, the intro that I put together by the great band The Who, written by Pete Townsend and company, sang by Daltrey. The Fool Decoded. So a big shout out goes out to my main man Joe on Facebook from the great state of Detroit, Michigan, city and state. He kind of promulgated me to do this. I put out on my my blog page on cosmicsugar.org. I did a write-up on this right here, The New Boss, and I broke down some theology, and if you want to check that out, I'll leave it in the description of this video, on how, the new boss coming in, I feel, would be Uranus, which rules the airwaves of Aquarius. And then, Joe had put in the comments of the Facebook post, meet the new boss. It's the same as the old boss. And I just started looking into it, and I just started laughing, and of course the rest is history, and here we are. But, I feel this is going to be the boss that, through astrology, it's going to rule over the age of Aquarius, along with Leo, and of course the sun on the opposite end. But this is Fool Decoded, ladies and gentlemen. And this one was a lot of fun. I put this together really quickly, so here we go. We're going to start off with the guy who wrote Won't Get Fooled Again, Pete Townsend, from the great band The Who. The song came out in 1971. And, talk about having a scripted reality, this guy right here. I hope he gets to watch this, honestly, because I'm sure he doesn't even know this information. But Peter Dennis Blandford Townsend, born on May 19th, 1945. The big standout is the day of the year, the 139th day of the year. And, of course, the big banger on the back end, 226 days remaining. That's going to be tied to Ra. We're going to get into that. But the 139 for the May 19th birthday this guy has is this element called Cerium, tied to the Roman goddess Ceres, the goddess of agriculture, tied to Earth. And this Cerium is tied to the puppet master. I've been showing this. A lot of you great decoders have been showing this over and over. So Pete Townsend's mind, I'm going to support and say his mind wasn't his own. Where did he get this information from? He'll tell you what the song means, but there's different meanings with all this kind of stuff. So when you look at his birthday and his birth card, as I like to often do, he's got the King of Clubs card. Interesting, if you're a big fan of guitar, Joe Satriani, probably the greatest guitar instrumentalist ever, has the King of Clubs as well. A lot of great minds. This is Mental Mastery, this card, May 19th, and it's the 26th card in the deck, tied to the source code, the 26, tied to iron, which is in our blood. And I'm going to get into that, ladies and gentlemen. But what it really comes down to is the actual lyrics on the song. I've done this many times with other songs, Pink Floyd, etc., etc. And so what I wanted to do is take all 47 lines of this song, Won't Get Fooled Again, and see where the big standouts are. Now, the first time that they sing We Don't Get Fooled Again, which is going to give you a total numerology of 88 and going to be tied to radium and 226. Again, going back, it leaves for this guy 139th day of the year, 226 days remaining. So you could start to see the connecting points of Pete Townsend having a scripted reality. When he says we won't get fooled again, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Well, I'm going to show you at the very end what I think he means of that and how this whole reality is going to play out here. But this is going to be line 13, and what a big one this is, because we bring the card of illumination into this, and not only is it the death card, because it's all about death and regeneration, life and death, but it's the King of Hearts. And the King of Hearts, if you watch my Prometheus Decoded, it was tied to Genesis 2 verses 7, which talks about man being created from the dirt. And Genesis in Hebrew is 13. So Genesis is the seed. That's what it means. So the King of Hearts is the King of Love, and the King of Love wants to come down here and play this game and create using the parameters of looking for love. And that's what this whole story is all about. That's where you're going to get the fallen angel story, coming down here, chasing ass, chasing tail, looking for love, wanting to build things. It's the supernatural, however that looks. It's exactly what this is. It comes down and plays out its own game, and it's the boss, and you're the boss. I did a decode on the final boss. That's you, because you're the supernatural. And I'm going to show and support that towards the end of this decode, to hold on to your hats. So why I'm showing the 88, of course, is because the very first time he sings We Don't Get Fooled Again is the 88. 88, the string of the golden ratio. You got to go 10 digits in. It's going to equal a total of 47. There are 47 total line items here where it says same as the old boss. No accidents there. It's the 9th and 10th digit. And of course, what's 9 plus 10? 19. What day was Pete Townsend born on? May 19th. Okay, scripted reality, ladies and gentlemen. Great musician, great band, amazing songs. Scripted reality. What a hell of a code this guy got. The whole band, right? Being a rocker on stage. And of course, there's the 10, right? The binary number. But more on that a little bit next time when I get into my binary decode. But let's actually look at the last two line items of this song. Line 46 and line 47, I know it's a little small, but it says, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. That's why Joe posted that on social media, which promulgated me to do this decode after I posted the new boss. So the new boss and the old boss, like, what does that mean? Well, it's chaos and order. That's what the new boss and the old boss means. You're going to have the golden age to the dark age repeat, chaos and order. It's always going to be like that in this reality, because you can't just have unicorns and fluffy marshmallow crowds all the time, because life would get boring. You need challenges in life to really kind of stick everything around, and you got to have some resistance, so to speak. But let's take a look at this, the song title itself. The song title was Won't Get Fooled Again. That's gold. That's 79. 79 being the 22nd prime number, 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. 22nd letter is the V in the English. It's very, very interesting. It's tied to vanadium, the 23 in our blood. But why I have these outlined in green here, 7 is the 45th number. He was born in 1945. The 9 is the 46. That's where it says meet the new boss. There's the 79 in gold. And then the 8 is same as the old boss. So it's really the 9 and the 8, and it's tied to this element called californium. And why I'm showing this, because these are bridges. The 251 is a pretty big number, because it's going to be a permutation of this number right here, the 512. So as I often do, I like to look at the length of songs. The album length, here it is, 8 minutes and 32 seconds. So I wanted to break it all the way down into seconds. So we'd have 60 seconds times 8 minutes, 480, plus 32 is 512. And that's a permutation of the 251, which is tied to the 98, which is the 2 digits that make up the 2 last verses of this song, line 46 and 47, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. So it's going to be the 98. I'm going to get that at the very end, ladies and gentlemen. But I thought this was super. I mean, come on. You think the producers really are doing this on purpose to get it exactly this way? I mean, what goes into a song to write it is enough to try to get all that stuff. But let's look at this 98 and 521. It is tied to the prime. 521 is the 98th prime number. So there it is, the 98. It's tied to the new boss and the old boss. It's tied to the minutes. I mean, the total seconds of the song. Won't get fooled again. And then in the mathematical aspects, 521 is the 98th prime number. Like going into the golden ratio, 521 occupies digit 120, 121, and 122. And then you can bring this element called antimony, this is your brain. The all-seeing eye. You split your brain in half. This is what you're going to have. The thalamus is going to be the pupil, the implant in your mind. Your mind is not your own, ladies and gentlemen. That's why, you go to Genesis 6 verses 3. My spirit shall not always strive with man. My spirit. And it says, his days shall be 120 years. There's the 120 on antimony. There it is, 120. There's the 521, the starting of that, tied to the 98. How about that? I mean, it's pretty crystal clear, folks. Bringing it doesn't matter. You can use any kind of religion you want. It's all going to tell you the same story. It's a big Ponzi scheme. It's a beautiful one, but it's the same Ponzi scheme, folks. The new boss is the old boss. It's always going to be the same. It's just going to be different energies coming in, different personalities, etc., etc. That's what this is saying anyway. So let's bring in kind of, what Joe was highlighting, and the last two line items of this song. Won't get fooled again. Meet the new boss. Same as the old boss. Look at how many letters there are. The subtleties, 30. 30's tied to the word demiurge. The new age name Jehovah. Santa Claus coming down the chimney, 30. Tied to the element zinc, which is all about the roof. The roof is on fire. But it's the 123. Where do we go with that to support this? Well, we're going to bring it into the string of the golden ratio. Pure mathematics. This is part of the source code. Taking the spoken word, bringing it into the golden ratio, measuring nature, and we're getting an outcome of 855th digit through the 857th digit. Well, can we link that to anything else through mathematics? Bam! Of course we can. It's the 148th prime number. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow decoders, how about that 148? Because the 148 through alchemy is the I am. 53 and 95 is going to give you 140 freaking 8. It's the I am. So the new boss, the same as the old boss, is going to be the I am, which, again, how many times do you say this throughout your life? I am going to go do this. I am that. I am this. See, your mind's not your own. You're being used by whatever runs this reality, which you should be rejoicing in. Just figure out your code. Some of you don't know what your code is, and you're bickering and complaining. You haven't figured your code out. Once you figure your code out, life gets a little easier. Let's bring in some more of astronomy now, and astrology, of course. We're going to go and get the total amount of these digits. 47 digits of the golden ratio, where the new boss and the old boss and the new boss meet together, the 98. The total addition of all this is 234. And that's going to tie to the 92nd element called uranium, which, again, it was tied to my post, the new boss, which I feel is going to be the ruler of Aquarius. So Uranus gets the nod. And it's the U, the lucky horseshoe. And I'm going to show a little bit more of this coming up here. Hold on to your seats. So once again, showing this graphic here with the total outcome, the 234. I want to talk more about this 98 right here. I'm going to go back to the uranium here in just a little bit. But again, line item 46 and 47. Here's digit 46 and 47. It's the 98. How about the cards of illumination? Get another extension upon what this looks like through the mystical card deck. It's the 7 of spades and the 8 of spades. Both spades in this system, this means earth. In the tarot, it's going to mean air. But when you say them through numerology, you get the 120. Remember what that 120 was? Antimony, right here. His days shall be, this is mankind, your days shall be numbered 120 years. My spirit. That's the voice in your head, folks. That's the voice in your head. So, right there, through the cards, through the numerology of the cards, I've been showing this so much. But how about the tarot to get the picture, the conversion? Well, the 7 of spades becomes the 7 of swords, and the 8 of spades becomes the 8 of spades becomes the 8 of swords, this is my birth card, my ego card, which is why I'm showing this to you. And what does this mean? So meet the new boss, same as the old boss. So what is the new boss? This card means strategy. See, when the supernatural comes down here, when you're incarnated into this reality, it now has a strategy for you, a screenplay. You now have a completely predestined, scripted reality that you're going to live through. And of course, this card can also mean deception. Okay, because this has got a yin-yang to it. All cards have a liability asset to them, yin-yang. So this is a card of mental strategies, but it also can mean deception. And then meet the old boss, which is trapped and limited. The 8 of swords. Okay, the old boss. So you're literally, it's mental strategies, but being trapped and limited down here. You're limited with your abilities as matter, spirit into matter. Now, if you actually just go to the tarot and you look at the 46th and 47th cards, it tells you kind of the same story. The 46th card tied to meet the old boss. It's the DNA card, 46, happy home. Okay, coming down here, looking for love with the 47 here. Page of Cups, the little fish in the cup is you and I. It's looking for love. That's what when you get this card and reading the Page of Cups, man, it's like an offering, a love offering coming into your life. And then you go to the Knight, and this is like really the looking for love aspect. But it's the precursor to that. So that's what it means, the new boss and the old boss. It comes down to enjoy its creation, and it looks for love. It looks for romance. It looks for layers to create through. The page, which is the prince or princess. It's exactly how this stuff works right here. But these are matching up the cards of illumination. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. That's it. And do we ever get out of here? I mean, Hotel California, you could check out any time you like, but you can never leave. That may just be the case. You may just change characters. You may be able to level up. I don't know. I'm just trying to check things off the box. If I were you, I'd do that. What about alchemy? What does alchemy have to say? Another layer here to extend upon the old boss and the new boss, the 98. Well, I'm going to use the line items, 46 and 47, and it's palladium and silver. We live in the Silver City. You say palladium and silver, 51. If you just take this 1 off of there, this is another way to do the golden ratio. Because there's 2 ways to do this. You can add them all up starting with the 1 point, or you can remove the 1 point, and then you can add up the digits, and it's going to give you 233. And 233 is the 51st prime number. I feel like the 1, that's all of us. We are the 1 point. We become the I. The I am that we become the 1, folks. 1 is 17 in numerology. That's the star card. That's Neo, the permutation of that, or the number anagram. I feel like that's how this works. But 51 is the total outcome for the numerology of palladium and silver. And once again, you get the all-seeing eye inside your brain, the implant in your brain. Tied to the pineal gland, the whole shebang. Okay? Your mind, the voice in your head owns you. You don't own it. You're renting space here. Where are your ideas coming from? And there's that 120. My man shall only be 120. Right? It's pretty easy to see here. Antimony meaning not alone. Not alone. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. I did a decode on the final boss. Go check it out. The final boss. That's you. That's why making the truth your own is the only thing that matters. It's your screenplay, your movie. You're the star of the movie. That's it. And then what if you do the alchemy of these 2? Palladium and silver. 212.808. 212 is sublimation of water. That's going to be an exchange of water to gas, which is what we're being used for, this energetic exchange. There's the 808 on the back end. But where's that 212 fit in the string of the golden ratio? Well, at the 120th decimal digit, you go right back to antimony again. You're starting to see the pattern, folks. These are undeniable in my book. I'm not going to say prove. I don't like using that word. I'm going to say support. It's going to be up to you what you want to make the truth. And what you want to adopt is your truth. But I'm showing you the support here. 400 plus videos now. Many of you showing the same exact kind of patterns. These are undeniable as far as this means not alone. The voice in your head owns you. It's not a bad thing. You just figure out what your code is. So it really comes down to the very end, tail end of this. And this was the, oh my, is this one. This one's the big takeaway. So let me narrate this because I got a lot going on here. And I'm going to probably do a decode on this right here. I am you. This, you get into the Upanishads and, it says we're all incarnations of God. Every single one of it, which would alleviate the burden of trying to argue about anything. I am you. And as I've been saying, it uses us. And, you have in the primes, because how big of the primes were in this? In the primes, it's 139. And lo and behold, Pete Townsend was born. The guy who wrote Won't Get Fooled Again was born on the 139th day of the year. 797 is the 139th prime number. 79, if you go back up here again to this total amount here, right there, 79, just repeats itself. Pretty easy to see here, but this is a humdinger. Being born on the 139th day of the year, I am you. It's tied to the puppet master. It's pretty easy to see this. And then I decided to reduce these down. The primes. So the 9th prime number is the letter I in the 23, and then 2 plus 3 is 5. So I just reduced them all down to single digits, and we get that 13. Go right back up here. We won't get fooled again. It's the 13. It's the King of Hearts. The King of Hearts is looking for love, folks. That's exactly what you're being used for. You're being used to procreate. You're being used to hump. You're being used to have this and have that, have fun, to do this, to feel emotions, to feel experiences, to create businesses, to create corporations. There's people that incarnate to do, the dystopian stuff. It's all of it, folks. Everything inside this reality is all the I am. There can't be any separations. There can't be any separations. King of Hearts, when you say that, 46, line item 46, meet the new boss. Right there, looking for love, folks. The King of Hearts. In the King of Hearts is the King of Cups. I showed this. The King of Cups is tied to the Tin Man. And the Tin Man in the story of Wizard of Oz was looking for his heart. The whole meaning of that is when you're incarnated into this reality, Supernatural now uses you to look for love, which means looking for your heart. That's it. It's that simple. So I am you. I feel that, and this just summarizes it here, that we're being used by the supernatural. That's it. King of Hearts 46, double helix 46. Doesn't get any more crystal clear than that. I even did a decode on the DNA. The 2 base pairs of our DNA equal 106. Palladium has that weight of 106. 46 protons, double helix is 46. It's pretty simple, folks. It's right in your face now, okay? This is all right out in the open for you to see. There's no more secrets with this stuff. We won't get fooled again. This is exactly what this is saying. The proper time came. Okay, you're the supernatural. You are the God. All right. There's no reason to argue. Doesn't matter what religion it doesn't. It owns everything. So whatever works for you, go do you. That's it. Go be happy. Go figure out your code, and go look for love, because that's what this means. And the 13 is the big number because it's the very center. All the kings sit in the middle. So to finish this transmission up of Fool Decoded, won't get fooled again, I want to just, remind you that we also have this uranium, which is Uranus, which, is Father Sky. So this could be, the God itself, the U. Uranium. And, again, the new boss I feel is going to be Aquarius and Uranus, but this has a lot of merit right here, the 92. And the 98 now, if we bring it into alchemy, again, going off the line items 46 and 47, 9 and 8 is 46 and 47th digit. Well, you bring it into alchemy, it's fluorine and oxygen. And oh boy, was this a huge, huge expression of energy here. So the new boss is the old boss. It's the same. The 9 is the new boss in this instance. 9 is the repeater number. 9 is the humanitarian. If you're a 9 life path, you're a humanitarian. 9 birthday, humanitarian, givers. That's the new boss, right? And then what's the old boss? Power. And it's just always going to be a round robin. 8 is the Taurus field. So it's fluorine and oxygen. The 9 and the 8. The 9 is the repeater number. Always and forever, 9 is going to repeat. Any number next to it's going to repeat. 98 is 17. 1 plus 7 is 8. 9 repeats the 8. This is the Christ energy, by the way, because it's 888. Oxygen atom has the 8 electrons, protons, and neutrons. It's the 888, which is going to give you 24. Jesus in the Greek is 24. 24 hours in a day. Okay, you need oxygen to breathe, ladies and gentlemen. Same as the old boss. You need oxygen to breathe. Oxygen 26. Remember his birth card, the 26 card in the deck? What's in our blood? Oxygen. You need, in order for you to have the iron and all that stuff, you need oxygen. The blood needs oxygen in order to be a human being. So this is the supernatural using you. Adam and Eve is 26. Yod-Heh-Vah is 26. It's just always been here, folks. Just we now have the eyes to see it. When you do the alchemy of these two, from meet the new boss, same as the old boss, fluorine and oxygen, when you add them up, it's 34.98. There's the 98 in the back end, 34.98. What's so special about the 34? Well, it's tied to the 139. So 139 is the 34th prime number. I am you is 139 from the, and I'm, folks, if you want to go and have fun with this, by all means, there's a lot of combinations with this. You got to figure, because Americium, the first original was 241. Uranium has several atomic masses. Iodine, this is going to run up to 127. There's a lot of layers to this to figure out, and I'm going to do a decode probably on this specifically. But this is kind of undeniable. And then, where's that 34? It's tied to selenium and the moon. So the moon's in there as well. It's tied to the element chlorine. Chlorine's the 17. That's the star card. But the 34 in the cards of illumination is the 8 of diamonds. This card sits in the crown line. Meaning, if I show you the boilerplate chart, here it is. The 8 of diamonds sits at the very middle part of the crown line. Okay, in the Jupiter line, all the way in the middle. That's where this thing sits. And then over here, it's Uranus and Saturn. Okay, these are big markers here, but you got to know the card systems. But what is this right here? What is this? Well, ladies and gentlemen, some of you may not want to hear this, and I might get some minus subscribers, but I'm just showing you what I see. And again, big shout out to Kevin Clark for, pointing this out. He's the one who kind of pointed it out. I had on the 7 of diamonds, but you know where that Lucifer sigil is going to fit, don't you? Bam! Right over the 8 of diamonds. 19 is the 8th prime number. 19 is tied to the sun. This guy was born on the 19th. Come on. The 8 of diamonds converts into the 72nd card in the tarot right here. And this is tied to Genesis 2 verses 7. If you watched my Prometheus decoded. This is hard at work. This is you and me this is hard at work. 8 of diamonds, 8 of pentacles. 72 is germanium, germination. Seeds being germinated, Genesis. Okay? It's the supernatural using you and I to do its bidding, ladies and gentlemen. Light slowed down into physical matter. The light bringer. All right? That's it. That's it. So that's what I got, ladies and gentlemen. Short and sweet. Would love to hear what you saw for this presentation. I really appreciate all your support, all of you great decoders, for being here, for supporting this channel. Even if you don't comment, even if you don't like anything, just for viewing it, I appreciate it. Those of you that have put the comments, thank you for your comments. Just, again, keep them cordial, folks. Because I have no room for toxicity. There's no, why do we don't need to argue at this point anymore. Now we know. Okay? It's you. You are the supernatural. As I have been saying, this was like solidification. You're in a movie. You're the star of the movie. That's it. Go find out what your cast is. Instead of bickering and arguing with people. It's like a waste of time, folks. So anyway, I'd love to hear what you saw. Keep your comments coming. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for today. My name is Logan for Decode Your Reality. Until next time, we will See you later.